Hello all and welcome to another edition of the Single 8 Show. Your name is...
My name is Joseph Mills. Your name is...
The Single 8.
And there is something on your mind that you want to talk about. You were ready to get on this podcast and ready to go. So, the Single H, what do you want to talk about this week?
That's what's been going on in the government, and...
There's been a lot going on in the government.
And we're also going to do a little conversations about labels.
Okay. Because that became what was meant to be a playful joke last night, but it became not a joke anymore?
Yes.
Okay, that's fair. I would like to do that. Where would you like to start today?
Let's start with the government.
Let's start with the government.
So, they're doing the passport thing again. So, what I'm going to do is, folks, if you got the passport during the time before this happened again, great. If you didn't, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about rich white men not seeing around themselves and seeing the fact that they are actively doing harm. I am so sorry.
So within this conversation of what's going on with the passports again, have they shifted things to that your passport has to be your birth gender, or
it has to be your sex assigned at birth?
It has to be your sex assigned at birth. Okay, so kind of talk through that for a moment. I know it's obvious, but yeah, you can just dissect it by what was said, but explain it for those of us who just need our hands held a little.
You can imagine. We're going to do it from the perspective that I know more about. Imagine a trans man going through TSA and it has a W on it. Do you think that's going to go well for said trans man who had gone through medical transitioning? Do you think that's going to end up well? The only answer is no.
So let's parse that. You are doing exactly what I needed you to do. This is the harm in that. We know multiple transgender friends that present heavily their gender that's related to their journey. You present heavily to your gender related to your journey.
Yeah. They present their gender.
Yes.
Let's take out related to their journey.
Okay.
Only because saying that right now is making it easier for people to act.
Okay.
That's because it's more like, haha, you're not your gender.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that really quickly.
So say it correctly again.
They present their gender.
They present their gender. So you go through TSA, you go into a new living situation, you go into a place that you have to present identification and so forth, and you present one gender, but your gender marker on your ID is different.
Yeah.
That would not go well.
It would not go well at all. And considering the trans women, it would be worse, considering that they are, I'm going to say out loud, scapegoat.
Yeah.
And trans men are the internal scapegoat.
Yes.
Along with non-binary people. The people that are the silently being harmed in this.
Well, and we'll talk about non-binary in a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you're right. The politicized fight is against transgender females.
Against trans women.
Women.
Trans women.
Against trans women. The trans males do kind of get a hall pass That's not really
But it's still
pushed
happening.
against, but it happens.
It happened within the community as well.
Explain that more.
Because the thing is, the reason I said outwards for trans women is because it is the most, they also have the most voice in all of it as well. And we cannot not let that be said. They also have the most voice in all of this.
Okay.
But trans men and non-binary people, because they are the part that church and far-right people, conservatives, block out, it's silent and hidden from the rest of the world, but they're still being caused thus as much harm. And when they talk about it, they're not being taken seriously, because this one voice had the space to take up the conversation, and some people on this side of the community is mad when this people say, hey, there's something bad happening over here to us, because they think it's lessening it.
Yes.
It is not.
Yes.
So that's that rant.
Okay, but let's talk about the passports a little bit more, because from what I've been reading and what has become a little bit of a burden within my spirit is that it has been requested that non-binary gender markers not be used at all, and non-binary gender markers that are already on passports and such to be not received as valid.
Yeah, not valid.
Not valid. So let's talk about that journey, because that journey affects you.
Yeah.
So you would literally have to go back and get a new passport.
Yeah.
You would literally have to go back. But now that we've gone through all this work, I have a different question.
Yeah.
Now that we've gone through all this work and you have a new birth certificate that has you marked, does your birth certificate, are you marked male or non-binary?
I am marked non-binary on my birth certificate.
So then we would have to go back and get a new birth certificate.
Yeah.
Also. So with all of this work that we've already gone through and your legal recognition of your gender identity, the president is pushing that none of that is valid. So if we went back, would we be, with everything that's happening right now,
we would be back at ground zero.
Would we have to get a feminine birth certificate, or could we get masculine?
I have no idea at this point.
Okay, that's fair. That's a journey that we need to investigate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot within that.
Yeah.
But here's hoping, and you're right. You won't be traveling anytime soon, so that's not a complete issue. But it's a lot to ponder.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for all of our dear friends that went through all this work, because we were a part of that wave of people, when the courts put a temporary injunction against these actions, we were a part of a huge wave of people that went through to get the right gender markers and to get on the birth certificate and your passport. So that is definitely something that we're going to work through, and many other people are now going to have to go and work through that too.
Again, but in case that does get word, and it probably will, to get out.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to keep us in, because they're doing what I'm going to call, until there's a formal name for it, but I'm sure there is, a silent genocide. It's already a social genocide. But
express that further. Explain how it's a social genocide.
A social genocide, they're literally taking out the ability to do it. They are making ways.
I need you to speak it through for people that don't understand. To do what?
They are doing ways to take out laws for them to not be the one to pin on when trans kids, non-binary people, trans men, and trans women commit suicide.
So
They're purposely pushing down this community for us to erase ourselves and for them to not have the blood on their hands.
All right, so this is a journey within political extremists to eradicate the transgender identity altogether. Okay.
Absolutely, and it should not be taken otherwise.
And it really bothers me that that it's something that's being contemplated or spoken about at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's a genocide, and it cannot be taken as anything else.
But you're talking about a social genocide in which that the ability to practice or live into an identity is being completely extracted.
But within those steps of the social suicide, the steps of the silent suicide, science, the quiet genocide is being taken place.
Yes.
Because their only goal is to get it down and get it depressing up, get it to have enough anxiety for us to do it ourselves.
Allegedly.
Yes.
And that is a complete possibility. And this is where that not getting out complete and total information becomes a part of the plague that you and many other transgender siblings wrestle with.
Yeah.
It's when you hear there is not a taught difference between social transitioning and medical transitioning. And they are trying to eliminate
the chance of either,
which causes a lot of harm, where if you allow someone to go through social transitioning, it truly does allow them to process things in a very specific way, and through that they can become comfortable in their identities. And then if they choose to go into medical transitioning, they've had a chance to explore it and move into it.
Yeah.
But all of this conversation that takes place on the political side eliminates social transitioning completely.
Yeah.
If you hear the narrative of the politicized voice, it's all about body manipulation and chopping off body parts or what have you. And none of that is happening at the beginning stages because it's social transitioning.
And it months and months of therapy.
Yes, that is a part of the social transitioning.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's months and months and years of therapy with their rates.
And when you erase the chance to exist in a name, to exist in a gender marker, and go through the therapy, they're trying to remove even the possibility of having the therapist to discuss and explore these things.
And they're trying to bring back conversion therapy that had been tried and tested, and that it failed and it only causes harm. And there is no alleged in that statement because science have been behind that.
Yes. There is far more proof, documented proof of the harm of conversion therapy than there is success. And I was reading a couple articles this week that talked about individuals that have stated that they went through some kind of conversion process, either reading the Bible X amount of times or what have you. Actually, what you don't know, last week's Single 8 show, the transparenting episode that I put out, was a series of debates that I got into with individuals that were trying to push this narrative of being able to be converted out of a journey. And we've talked about it on this show. It's not true.
Yep, it can't happen. It can't happen.
And if it is your identity, you do go back to it.
Yep.
Yes. So let's talk about this, because this does kind of lead into the joking around that I
Yeah.
started last night, and it was about boxes.
Yeah.
Last night I made the mistake, and I do apologize to you. I was around with you. I was poking around with Rick Kane, and I made the statement. You guys are putting yourselves in these boxes, and everybody in my Generation X, spent our time trying to tear those boxes apart. Now, you made some good points
Yes.
in your pushback. So I'm going to repropose that statement, and I want you to to share what you did last night that made sense. I made the statement, and it was joking around, but I made the statement that me and everybody else in my Generation X, spent a lot of time trying to tear down socialized boxes, but now you're trying to build them back up. So
But
respond to that.
within that, we are not.
Within that, you're
We
actually not, and that is a true statement.
we are not. I am someone who mostly uses the term queer, which queer is the box without a box within the LGBTQIA plus community. Yes, there is stereotypes within it, but queer is the general. I connect with too many things, and not one box fits me. So here's a term that can summarize me enough, and I'll explain the rest if I feel comfortable.
Yes.
But labels themselves should and only be used when you are comfortable, and they are explaining tools.
Yes.
They are an adjective.
They're not nouns. They're descriptors.
And my problem with your statement is that it turns them into a noun.
Yes.
But society had turned them into a noun.
Yes.
It's not the people itself. Everyone within the transgender community
And LGBTQI plus community as well.
that knows what up use them as adjectives.
Yes.
That we use them as adjectives because using them as anything else takes away their ability and immediately make them dehumanizing.
Yes. I will share, though, that Rick Kane within this conversation made a really good point.
Yeah.
And Rick Kane shared, sometimes we need the box so that people can become comfortable with themselves.
Yes, because at the beginning of my transitioning, I needed a box. Or else that would be a dining with death that we all wouldn't want to see.
Mm-hmm.
But then from there, I used it to see myself and walk myself farther off that ledge when finding all the overlap. Because you can never summarize one person by one word.
Yes.
Because you are doing injustice to that person and to that group.
And that's one of the things that I truly like about the phrasing of queer.
Yeah.
Is it's not gay, it's not lesbian, but it is an all-encompassing that allows a person to go through a journey for themselves.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that I really get upset about with people, it's just like, oh, one day they're gay, and the next time they're trans, and then they're non-binary.
And guess what? That's the conservatives
Yeah,
that make that
I
point.
know.
It's never the people within them.
But listen to me, though.
Yeah.
Let me make this point. But I'm also saying all that's true.
Yeah.
And all of that is possible. One day, one person might say that they're gay, and one day a person might identify as transgender or non-binary. It's because we actually do live in fluid lives, and if we can learn to process things through that fluidity, we truly find out who we are.
Yeah, that's the beauty of fluidity itself.
Mm-hmm.
The world isn't a straight line. It is a raging river that has all the different turns that you can go down. There's multiple different ways to get to the same place in the world, each with its different challenges in different sets, but overall you got to the same place.
Yes. And where that place is you getting to where you are.
Yes.
And that's actually where we ended the conversation at last night. It was, who cares if you use a box and you don't? Do you know who that matters to? It matters to you.
Yeah.
And no one outside of you should have that ability to make you feel bad for trying to figure out what box you're in, or make you feel bad that you want to rip those boxes completely apart and throw them in the fire.
Yeah.
There's no one outside of you that has the ability to corrupt your journey.
Yes. And my only problem about that joke is that it worked with the other group and not the one that you were actively saying it towards.
Yes.
Because the one you're actively saying it towards did not find that funny at all.
That's true. It was a bad night last night, and I do apologize for creating that discussion. It was a bit of me wanting to rile things up so that we had something to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we have had the conversation before on the podcast. Go back. Probably
to the beginning.
Go back probably 6 months from this podcast, and you'll probably find one discussing it.
Well, go back to last week's podcast in Transparenting.
Yeah.
As we're talking about new people trying to push back on the ideal that your journey is not one that is acknowledged by the great creator, but yet it is. So it's just because you don't fit into their box of what a faith life is or whatever. Some boxes need to be torn apart and others need to be reinforced.
Yes.
Yeah.
And reinforced and changed enough that you let the fluidity flow through it at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. Would you like to plug yourself?
Go to the Single 8 sticker store. Go check out the art. So it's gonna be a bit before you see stuff. That's because third week that you go, I'm good. I do not have the energy for this, and I need to keep myself stable. And I can't make art right now because it will not be a good art or
Absolutely.
be art that I want people to see, and I want you to feel hope in that art instead of the pain that would be there. Yeah, and I'm gonna leave it with one more thing. Do self-care right now. Do it. And if anyone makes you feel bad or shitty about it, fuck them. Everyone within our community right now, you deserve it. You deserve it. Because the last year, I don't care that it hasn't been a full year of him in the office again, the last year, you've been shot at multiple times with political bullets. Do everything you can to keep yourself sane because they're doing everything they can to not keep you sane. Keep yourself sane any way you can. Go watch stupid stuff. Take a shower. Take a hot bath. Use the fancy bubble soap. Bath bombs because you absorb it. Use the Alphaba broom from Lut because you can reuse it. If you want the fancy hot tub in movie scenes level of bubbles. Because those are the bubbles, if you know you don't.
Alright.
Yeah.
So, the one thing you did not do is to find the Single 8 Show sticker store, to find the art class, please go to the Transcendent Media Instagram page. Go to our link tree, and you can find the links to all those things. Buy a sticker, watch some art, support the cause.
Yeah.
Take care of yourselves. That was the Single 8 Show for this week.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great week.